Why do I keep saying that I think Democrats have painted themselves into a really tight corner when it comes to a fourth stimulus check? And why do I think that they will almost be forced to add a fourth stimulus check into the next stimulus package, otherwise known as the American Families Plan? All the details in this video, so let's get right into it. Welcome everyone, thanks again for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as it is totally free to do so. And just remember, I am back every single day to keep you updated with everything going on and to help you out in any way that I can through these videos during this very confusing time. Thank you so much, I truly appreciate it, and let's get right into this. So if you've been watching my videos for any length of time now, you've probably heard me say over the last few months, I think Democrats have painted themselves into a really tight corner when it comes to a fourth stimulus check, and I almost think that they will be forced to add a fourth stimulus check into the American Families Plan. Now, why am I singling out Democrats? Well, I'm saying Democrats simply because they are in full control right now. They control the House of Representatives, they control the Senate, and of course, they control the presidency. So that is why I am saying Democrats, okay? So I'm not singling out any particular party necessarily, but rather I'm saying them because they have control and they will be moving forward with a budget reconciliation bill, as all of us know, because we've been talking about it a lot, okay? So I'm not taking sides with this video, but rather I'm just laying out everything as we see it and all of the evidence that we have as to why I think Democrats are kind of putting themselves into a precarious situation when it comes to a fourth stimulus check. All right, let's talk through these one by one and build the case for why I continue saying this. First off, I'm going to show you these. I've showed you this before, but I'm going to do it again right here, right now. These three letters to start out with. I have a lot more to bank on here, so just hang with me for another minute. But it's these three letters to start. One of the letters is from 53 members in the House of Representatives calling on a fourth stimulus check and monthly recurring payments. Another one of these letters is 21 members, or 21 senators, I should say. 21 senators, obviously, in the Senate, calling on a fourth stimulus check and monthly recurring payments. There's also another letter here from 7 members out of the House Ways and Means Committee calling on additional stimulus checks and to add automatic stabilizers into the American Families Plan. Now, in total, that is over 80 people across Congress right there calling on additional stimulus checks. Even though these letters were drafted a few months ago and sent over to the president, that's not really what matters. It's the simple fact that they wrote these letters and they sent them over to the president calling on more stimulus checks and stabilizers, especially for low-income individuals, okay? So those are three of the first pieces of evidence that we're going to look at. Next, let's talk about what we currently have on the table right now. Well, we currently are looking at about $4.1 trillion worth of stimulus spending. That is a massive amount of money. Just to put it into perspective, the last stimulus package that was passed in March from President Biden and Democrats through the budget reconciliation process was $1.9 trillion. This is more than double the price tag of the last stimulus package. Now, to be totally fair, this is split up between the infrastructure bill and the American Families Plan to make that $4.1 trillion. However, the vast majority of it, $3.5 trillion, is going to be encompassed within the American Families Plan, which is going to be the next stimulus package and where we anticipate them to add a fourth stimulus check right into it. All right, so next, let's get into the next piece of evidence that we have. Here's the thing. They have $4.1 trillion of spending. If you actually look at all this spending and look in there, how much is actually for the people? So let's just look at it this way. Of the $4.1 trillion, how much of that is actually going to the American people? Very little. I'll just tell you right now, it's very little. It is not much at all. Even though the $3.5 trillion is supposed to be in there for social infrastructure, as in like social spending programs. But is it actual direct cash payments to the people? For the most part, it's not, with the exception of the expansion of the child tax credit for another 4 years or through 2025. Other than that, there's not a whole lot in there for relief directly to the people. Yes, there's free college in there, there's paid medical leave, there's expansion of Pell Grants and things like this, but for the most part, it's not a whole lot of cash payments to the people. Oh yes, and there is also expansion to Medicare in there, which would also include hearing, dental, and vision coverage. But yes, all of that is in there, but for the most part, is there direct relief for the American people in that package? For the most part, not really. There's a little bit, but not much. So out of this $4.1 trillion of spending, there is very little that is actually offering direct relief to the American people. All right, so with that being said, the next piece of evidence, or the next piece that we want to hit on, is going to be talking about the major outcry that there would absolutely be if there is not a fourth stimulus check added into this package. Think about all of the different people out there, not only the people right here in Congress through these letters that I just mentioned, but just think about all the American people out there who are struggling right now. Most of which, basically everybody in this community right here on this channel, not only this channel, but multiple other channels out there and other communities out there who are low-income individuals or people living on a small fixed income from things like Social Security, Ssdi, SSI, VA, RRB, or just straight up low income, who continue to call on additional payments during this time to help them out during this confusing time as prices continue to rise so much on basically everything out there right now because of this inflation that's going on. Well, as we look at all the evidence, and we continue to look at all these different reports out there, it is the lowest income individuals, especially fixed income individuals, who are being hurt the most right now with rising prices, simply because prices are going higher and incomes are staying static, right? Therefore, that is a recipe for those people to be hurt the most, unfortunately. So therefore, we continue to build the case for additional stimulus checks. If they do not add a fourth stimulus check into the package, could they possibly go through the voting process, pass the entire $4.1 trillion across these two bills, and not add a fourth stimulus check? They could. Are they going to hear about it? Yeah, you better believe they're going to hear about it from many different people. In fact, I think if they get to the point where they're down to the last moment of these packages, they're in the voting process, do you think that they're going to hear a massive amount of outcry from multiple people? Millions upon millions of people out there saying, hey, you guys have $4 trillion of spending here, and none of it is going out to the people in the form of direct payments. Yeah, they're certainly going to hear about it. So here's the thing. I seriously think that they put themselves into kind of a tough situation right now, as in they're almost going to be forced to add it in there just as a way to calm the people, right? Because people are going to be calling out saying, no, there's just no way you guys can do this without adding additional relief. There are millions of people out there who are starving right now. There's people out there who can't cover their rent. There's people out there who are struggling so much in so many different ways. You need to add a fourth stimulus check. Focus on low-income individuals. Not only that, the cherry on top, there's this petition. We've talked about it multiple other times out there, and I get it. It's just a petition. But you know what? It's still a petition that is signed by millions of people. In fact, there's actually 6 petitions out there right now, but there's only one that's getting the majority of the attention, which has millions of signatures on it, right? And there's also those 5 other petitions out there that have, millions of signatures between them as well. So here's the thing. We have all of these different sources out there, all of these different groups, all of these different people calling on additional stimulus. Not only that, I did not even hit on in this video, I didn't even talk about the Economic Security Project, which wrote out that really detailed report that I talked about in previous videos, how additional stimulus checks would lift millions of people out of poverty in 2021, taking people living in poverty from 44 million all the way down to something like 16 million people. That's a ton of people that they would be lifting out of poverty as a result of a fourth and possibly even a fifth stimulus check. So here's the thing. Like I say so many times, we look at all the evidence. Is a fourth stimulus check on the table right now? Well, technically, it's not in the package. But are we worried about that? No, not one bit. Because here's the thing. When they get right down to it, when they get down to the final steps of trying to pass these huge packages, $4+ trillion of spending, are they going to be put into a situation where they're going to hear tons of people calling out to them saying, this is great, we like your initiatives, we like your packages, but here's the thing. You've got to add additional relief focused on low-income individuals. I would be willing to bet that that is exactly how this whole thing's going to play out, which is why I've said so many other times in my videos, I am not worried one bit about a fourth stimulus check not technically being in the package at this time, because I think it's going to come down to the final voting process right down to the wire, and all of a sudden, last minute, we're going to hear from one of these major players out in the game, like Bernie Sanders. I kind of think it's going to be someone like Bernie Sanders, because here's the deal. He's a guy who comes out and he says, we need this, and he sticks to it until he gets what he wants. I truly think it's going to be somebody like a Bernie Sanders that comes out and says, we need a fourth stimulus check, right? They're right down to the last minute here. They want to vote on everything, and all of a sudden he comes out and says, no. You're not getting my support unless we add a fourth stimulus check. There are millions of people who need additional relief, and we need to add this in for those lower income individuals. Or maybe they just say straight up, hey, everybody that got one last time, you'll get one too. Maybe they do that, because here's the thing. Last time, they wanted to lower the eligibility for a stimulus check, and Bernie Sanders said, oh no, it needs to be $75,000. Remember that whole thing? So maybe he's the guy that comes out and says, we need it, but it goes to everybody that got it the last time as well. Maybe. You just never know. But here's the thing. Based on everything that we're seeing and everything that continues to come out there right now, I truly think that is only a matter of time until they actually add this thing in there. But I really do think it probably is going to be right down to the last minute, just like stimulus check number 2, when that one was added in literally days before it was signed into law. I kind of see an exact repeat in 2021 from what we saw in 2020. However, do I think the next stimulus package is going to be signed into law on December 28th? No. I think it'll actually come sooner than that. But by the way, that's when the second stimulus check package was actually signed into law, December 28th. So yeah, I think it'll actually be a little bit sooner than that. But in other words, 2021 is playing out almost identical to how 2020 played out. Like the timelines are coming out exactly the same debates and arguments that we're seeing playing out once again. It's almost like a replica of 2020, with the exception of, exactly what was happening in 2020. Of course, this year is a little bit different, but from a Congress standpoint and from all these bills and stimulus, it's looking very, very similar at this point, right? So anyway, I wanted to lay out there on the table as to why I continue saying Democrats have painted themselves into a tight corner. And I truly think it's only a matter of time until they are almost forced to add a fourth stimulus check right there into the package. So, hope this lays it out for you and explains why I continue saying this and the theories behind why I believe that there still will be a fourth stimulus check, even though all the naysayers continue to say, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about. Well, yeah, okay. I guess I don't do like 10 hours of research every single day. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a fool. Maybe I am. I don't know. But I guess only time will tell who comes out at the end of this, who's actually right, and maybe who's wrong. I don't know. But I guess time will tell, and somebody will prevail. Either way, I just want everybody to get additional relief. That's all I really care about. I don't care about being right or wrong. I just want people to get additional money right now and to help you out during this time. And no matter what form that comes in, at this point, who cares? Let's just get some relief to the people. Who cares about the name of the program? Who cares about some fancy program and the name of it? Let's just get money to the people who need it. That's all that really matters at this point, right? So anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this clears some things up for you as far as what I've been talking about. But make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video. That's one of the only things that really matters these days. Hit the subscribe button. Go back and check out some other videos right here on the channel. And of course, share the videos with your friends, family, and social media. Thank you, everybody. I truly appreciate you. Just remember, I'm here on your team, helping you out in any way that I can. Enjoy.